Today we will talk about an XLM coin called NLT, and it has been attracting a ton of attention, and I have even gotten involved in it because I am beginning to expand my definition of a utility coin into DeFi, and I do want to get exposure not only into these kinds of tokens, but into DeFi itself. I'm kind of explaining it as a combination of LSP and Aqua, but the point is that it is kind of an exchange token and it has access into a lot of DeFi potential just like Aqua does. Stellar related assets are huge gems, and NLT just might be a rocket in the ecosystem of Stellar to the tier of SHX, Velo, AFR, Aqua, and LSP. Mr. Aquaman 33 is one of the people I follow in terms of DeFi, and he has been posting about it a lot more as well. It is a part of SDEXEX, and it's also involved in a token launching platform called Stellar Launch Zone. Now, I did get told about this probably a few months ago, in all honesty, and it was from QFS ISO 222, and I was extremely skeptical. I just didn't really think it was anything more than an exchange token, and I wasn't really convinced on SDEX itself, and I just kind of ignored it. And it didn't have a ton of action, and I was concentrated on other things. So about a week ago, I got in, and it is only an experiment. However, I do think it has some pretty interesting characteristics, and I'll talk about those. Think about SDEX as coin market cap or Stellar with a utility coin in NLT. And apparently NLT and the SDEXEX token will be completely combining into NLT in November 2024. And here is a pretty good point as to why it could still keep increasing a whole lot. If the team holds 25% of all coins, why sell off right now at only a $10 million market cap or something in the area? You can't even properly pay developers if you cashed out at this point. Founders want millions, not just $200,000, which is a lot still, but for the amount of time and potential and opportunity here, I think that it's a pretty safe assumption that we won't see the team itself getting out too early, even if it has pulled about 100x in a few months now. Here is NLT on Stellar Expert. Just in about the past few weeks or so, the amount of trust lines has increased from about 1,200 up to about 2,100. And the price in just about 2 weeks at this point has increased from fractions of a cent from 0.000007 up to about 0.0002. And the volume in that time frame has increased by about 10x every day. Here is SDEX, and it is not a complicated exchange, but it is an actual exchange. You can connect a wallet up here, and it even has active LPs. So the SDEX itself has its own AMMs. Here is an example of an XLM and Aqua P. To talk about the price action a bit more, today I am recording this on July 25th, and it had a pretty huge sell wall at about 0.002 XLM, which would equate out to about $39,000, which is not huge. However, it is huge in comparison to the kind of volume and market cap involved in NLT right now. About 24 hours ago, there was another sell wall at 0.001, and it got taken out in about an hour after a dip. There is only one big sell wall around 0.002 XLM, and after that, it is pretty clear up to about 0.01 XLM, which is about another 5x, which can be checked out on SDEX itself. You go in the order book, it still has a pretty large amount in between about 0.002 and about 0.025. And it is interesting because the exact same amount of XLM or close to that is at each of the big points. And even though it is a lot in terms of XLM, it's only about 25K at each of these points. And Chief Satori has another good point where rich boys and crypto millionaires don't care a wall in the tens of thousands, which I 100% agree with. I just haven't observed that it has enough volume yet in order to not make that a relatively significant value. But I'm not too concerned about it, and I'm just seeing how it goes. There is one more part of SDEX which is interesting, and that is the lotteries, which from how I understand it is kind of like staking, except you are able to pretty much gamble on how much of a reward that you are able to get. You just have to purchase NLT, connect a wallet, supply coins, choose the parameters, sign the contract, and get paid when the timer runs out, and that can be repeated every 21 days.